President Biden and Donald Trump are set for their first presidential debate tomorrow. But this isn't their first time. It will, however, be the first time in US election history that a president will be in a debate with a former president. Biden, 81, and former President Trump, 78, are neck to neck in national opinion polls, with a considerable slice of the electorate still undecided.
Vote now.
You're going to pack the
Make
court?
sure you, in fact, let people know
He doesn't want
you're a
to answer the
senator.
question.
I'm not going to answer the question
Why
because
wouldn't you answer that
because
question?
the question
you want to put a lot of
the
new
question
Supreme Court
is
justice,
the
radical
question,
left.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen, who is on your list?
Experts including Professor Emeritus Alan Schroeder, Professor Kathleen Hall Jameson, US political consultant Philippe Reines, and Republican debate prep specialist Brett O'Donnell discuss the US presidential debate prep and what each candidate needs to do and not do in tomorrow's debate.
You have a race that's essentially tied in the polls at this point, and so I think that puts sort of equal pressure on both of the candidates, both in terms of the opportunity the debate presents to them, but also the risks.
The experts discuss the unusual nature of the debate. Since it's a president versus a former president,
so the public is more knowledgeable about both of these candidates as individuals, more likely to know about their temperament, their habits of mind, their disposition. But this year, because of the age of both, there is a need, even if you think you know a lot about both of the candidates, and you're more likely to this year, for you to be able to say, are they mentally acute enough to be president of the United States and mentally stable enough to be president of the United States? And those are different assessments. The question about Trump is stability. The question about Biden is acuity. Although you could make the argument that the question should be about both, for both.
Concerns about mental acuity, while relevant for both, are more striking in Biden's case, who has been trolled for his absent-mindedness for quite some time.
So in the case of Joe Biden, I think it's been interesting that Trump and his surrogates have really downplayed Biden's abilities and his mental acuity at this point, because that's really a gift to Biden. It just means that if he exceeds that level of performance, that he looks better than people expected him to.
One way to really show that that's just not true is to show the full Joe Biden. I mean, he can be pretty strong on circumstances. He can be funny. He can be all sorts of things that we don't see him when he's at a teleprompter looking into them and squinting. And I think this is an opportunity to show that.
The experts also spoke about what the two leaders should focus on and what they should not, as well as things which set a good presidential debate apart.
I think it's risky for Biden to push too hard on the felony convictions. On the other hand, I don't think it can be avoided. And I think if he makes it part of a broader issue about Trump's fitness for office and some of the things that he's done, more of a character issue than specifically about that trial and that outcome. I think that's probably a better strategy for him.
I think political debates are about two things. They're about message and moments. And so you've got to drive a message consistently across the debate, but then you want to have a couple of moments in the debate that are the shiny objects, so to speak, that the press will pay attention to and that allow you to exercise competitive advantage.
The danger with those moments is you're looking for something that's too short to be important to draw the judgment you should about whether a person is qualified.
If you look at the polling after the Hillary Clinton debates and after the Biden debates, Trump did not do so well. And so I think for him, it's a question of going beyond what people expect from him and delivering something that promises a little more than the same old, same old.
I don't think anyone's going to restrain Donald Trump, and I think that's partly his appeal to the folks that vote for him, follow him, like him. So I don't think the goal would be to restrain Donald Trump. I think it would be to suggest ways that he can keep getting back to the message that he wants to drive, and to keep him from crossing the line from being aggressive to being offensive.
The experts also discussed the fact that the venue, which is the CNN Atlanta studio, will not have a live audience, and what the same would mean for viewers.
So the absence of an in-studio audience and the willingness of CNN to suppress the mic of the person who's not speaking should increase the likelihood that the people who are at home watching will be able to at least hear and interpret in their own right the answers being offered by the candidates.
Amidst a close competition, divided support, and concerns over their mental acuity and suitability for the top job in the world, tomorrow's debate will be anything but boring. And the world will be watching. Bureau Report, India Today Global.